You guys did just get the, again, like pre-campaign here. Basically, that has the Sanzang, Ozzy, and Bedivere buffs in it. Should have also had a banner for Sanzang and Ozzy. Sanzang in particular is probably going to be pretty good for you guys upcoming at the lotto, so let that inform your choices as well. If you actually feel the need to roll her, go for it, because now she has that extra charisma that can help her not only hit even harder herself, but also help any other caster in the party potentially do more damage. But again, let's go ahead and look at the actual Grail Front proper. Now, the Grail Front itself is pretty straightforward. It should be the same as last time if you guys have never done one. They're more of a like turn-based strategy campaign mode. It's not like a individual like battle sequence so much as it is you kind of going one-on-one with your units, maybe even 2-on-1 or 2-on-2, basically against the AI as you try to defeat them. Then from there, you'll go down into the actual battles and fight, but how you move around the map is the main thing with Grail Fronts, and that basically determines a lot of how you basically fight. But again, there is also going to be certain things that'll get in your way, like party cost is a particularly huge issue here. So a lot of the time, people try to make do with a lot of low star sort of solutions to these sorts of things, or again, just take a really, powerful high star carry to basically solo everything. It's up to you to determine how you want to go after it. This does not include any of the changes that you may have heard about that came with the BB Grail Front that'll happen next year. Those are actually really nice. They actually add a lot of quality of life to the movement, but that's been the only Grail Front we've had after this since, so we haven't really had more time to actually deal with that. But again, that does not include it in this version of the Grail Front. Now again, you're basically going to be looking at your Grail Fronts unlocking day to day, and so it's just going to be kind of a, hey, go in there, do it the one time that day, and complete it. You do want to make sure that you collect all the chests on the map whenever possible. This will also be the first time that we have danger enemies, though if I remember correctly, I believe most of the time they're actually guarding the treasure chests in the event. So you don't have to worry too much about them. Just be careful because they'll probably have a lot more health. They may have break bars and such like that. So again, just be careful with how you approach those sorts of units. And certainly if you want to get all of the loot and one of them is guarding a chest on the map, make sure you don't save that for last, because if it is the last enemy you kill, you will not get that loot after the fact. So make sure you get all of the chests on the map before killing the final enemy or the enemy master so that you complete the actual map. Again, if you complete all 7 of the Grail Fronts, you will get 7 shards that can add up to make 1 Grail. That is going to be the main reason that you're actually going to be doing this. It's basically a free Grail as long as you just do your due diligence. Again, nothing too much though. The only thing I will say about this is, besides the game updates here and stuff, is that they did talk about this actually after the fact on JP during an interview, and they did mention the fact that they had actually tweaked Merlin's AI to be a little bit smarter than the prior masters. So this one's going to be a little bit smarter than, say, Munier and some of the other ones that we may have faced, like Caesar, where Merlin will actually move around a little bit more defensively. He'll try to use his units more effectively in order to come after you. That doesn't mean you won't still see some jankiness on behalf of the AI. It's still pretty stupid. In fact, I caught Merlin suiciding into my units one of the times that I did the Grail Front back on JP. But outside of that, yeah, you can expect this Grail Front to be at least a little bit harder. Still not going to be quite to the BB level of difficulty, but again, the BB one should be perfectly fine for most people that have an in-game account. But this one was, again, still, maybe a little bit more challenging, but nothing too hard. Again, you've got basically your game updates that came with this. The Da Vinci Workshop that it's talking about here is actually kind of the Da Vinci Workshop. So it talks about how you're going to get Mordred's Memories of Trifas costume, the really nice one that everyone likes for her, back to the Da Vinci Rare Prism Exchange. Here's the caveat. It's actually not part of the Rare Prism Exchange. I actually made a PSA about this. It's going to be part of the Miss Crane shop that's coming out that is under Da Vinci's Workshop, but it's not in the normal Rare Prism Exchange. Basically, all of your costumes are going to be moving to Miss Crane's shop, and over time, most of them, not all of them, but most of them will be eventually free to purchase. So any Rare Prism costs that they have on them, you will probably get back. So if you feel bad about maybe using the Rare Prisms to unlock this costume, understand that later on down the line, it'll probably become free. So you don't have to worry about that, and you will get the Rare Prisms refunded to you if that does occur. But again, just wanted to go ahead and say that. You've also got 2 strengthenings upcoming here for, again, my waifu here, Lartoria, so I'm really happy to have that, as well as Tristan here. Lartoria actually adds 2 50% power mods to her Mana Burst skill that basically include Chaotic and Evil. It's really, really nice. And then in the case of Tristan's, it's just a very nice quality of life upgrade to his Quick. Again, this is actually meant more to help him considering who's coming in the future. Basically, Baobon, who's going to kind of challenge him at what he does. So this is sort of a preemptive buff that everyone celebrated at the time, but it really actually seemed to be more to help him keep pace with Baobon, who'd be coming on later. And again, she's a really, really nice unit that we'll talk about as we get closer to Lost Belt 6's release. But again, those are the big things. We already have the animation update, so don't worry too much about that. And then you will have a summoning campaign, including basically your standard knights here. So you're going to have Lartoria, Gawain, Lancelot, Tristan, and Mordred. But basically only Gawain, Lartoria, and Tristan are story locked. Everybody else here is permanent. So definitely still a decent banner, but for those of you guys that maybe are going to be saving for some of the more sought after like support units and stuff coming later in the year, definitely not one that you have to roll on, and all of these units do get another banner, so you don't have to worry too much about rolling right here if you don't want to. But again, just wanted to make that quick PSA talking about the Grail front, as well as talking about what I expect the upcoming schedule to be like, so that you guys have an idea for your roll plans, for preparation for the lotto, and stuff like that. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys for the next one.